Hi again, everybody. This is Rod with the Dragon Winged Inn, and I've got another battle report. This is from our OP7 event, Orb of Devastation, and this time it's Jay and Jeremy. You saw me play Jeremy. I also had some video of me playing Jay, which I was going to put up, but when I was reviewing the video for the voiceover, there were just we were pretty rushed, and there were just some really bad gameplay errors that I didn't feel comfortable with putting that up. And you've seen what I have put up. So for the record, the line is when someone, me, procs searing flames off a bite attack and gets away with it. I'm not putting that video up. For the record, I did lose, deservedly so. So we're just going to skip that embarrassing chapter of Dragon Winged Inn history and show you Jay and Jeremy's game. And so here are the lists, and I'll show you Jeremy's list real quick. Of course, I went into detail about it in our last game, so if you want to hear more detail, I mean, probably you know what the pieces do. So, but in case someone's new to the game, I like to, discuss the upgrades and what I think they're trying to do. But without further ado, here's Jeremy's list real quick. So Jeremy has Balagos with Fire Breath and an Evil Sorcerer with some spells, Dimension Door and Mirror Image to get him around the map and protect him. He's got Dwarven Ballista with Artillery Master, a standard cheap attacker. And he's got his two troops, the Aarakocra troop and the Harper Elves. They're pretty stacked with upgrades. And, if you watched last video, you remember what some of these upgrades do, and you'll see them in action again in this video. But they are very powerful. Of course, once again, the scenario gives some cost breaks to troops and some defensive bonuses. So makes the troops a good choice for this scenario. And once again, you can go back to the last video to if you want a more in-depth overview. But we'll go on to Jay's list. So here's Jay's list, and unfortunately I feel like I have incomplete information. I think he might have had another upgrade on Xeno or a spell on Balagos to get him to 199 or 200, but this is what I remember from the game, and I think he certainly didn't use any upgrades that I don't have here. But so looking at the creatures, he's got Balagos, the Red Dragon, Searing Flames, Close Quarters, Fire Breath, Searing Flames, Close Quarters. Pretty standard. We've been seeing this guy all throughout Dragon Winged Inn history. He's a good creature. Speaking of good creatures, there's also Lord Max the Wraith with Life Drain, Malevolent Will, and Create Spawn. Once again, we've been seeing this guy since the beginning of the channel history. So if you've been watching, you know what he does, or if you play the game, you know what he does. Xeno, the Mind Flayer, coming back for a second time on camera. He's got a Dominator, enabling him to use his action to force an opposing creature to do a one maneuver and land, or not necessarily land. It depends on what Xeno wants. Extract Brain gives him an extra attack if he hits with his initial tentacle attack, and this extra Extract Brain attack is 3 dice, but completely ignores armor and you can't roll defense dice against it, so that can be pretty powerful. Ferocious turns one of his blanks into a hit when he attacks with a primary weapon, so that helps him get his initial attack through, tentacle attack through, so he can start extracting some brains. And he's got the Fly spell to make him fly. And finally, there's the classic Dwarven Ballista with Rapid Reload and Artillery Master. Rapid Reload we haven't seen yet. You can use your action to disable Rapid Reload, and then you get to make 2 4-dice attacks instead of 1 5-dice attack with a Ballista that turn. It's pretty interesting. We'll see it in action a little bit. And without further ado, let's go ahead and look at the game. Okay, let's look at the game. We've got Jay's Ballista moving first. He's creeping forward. He's all on the baseline again. Once again, going very slow in this scenario. Certainly, some caution is warranted, as we have seen. Jeremy's already done his Ballista 2 forward. Took an exhaustion token. Jay's Balagos has come forward a little. I think that's a 2 forward. There's a charge. And 1 forward for Jeremy's Balagos. It's too many Balagoses. That does not happen when you play good versus evil. I'll point that out. Action for Balagos is for other Balagos, I suspect, is going to be no, it's a dodge actually. I recall Jeremy was didn't want to charge because he would charge before the other Balagos charged. I'm not sure if that would have made that much of a difference. I assume he's swooping just to remember to be swooping on future turns. Where Eric Okra moved 1 forward, but it's really more of a rearrangement than any kind of forward movement as it worked out. A dodge on them. No, charge. Okay. I thought that might have been behind Balagos' wing, but it was okay where it was. Can't be too careful. Elves coming forward 2. Rearranging. There you go. And Jay's moving Lord Max forward a little bit already. I think I haven't seen an action on the elves yet. The elves are going to cast Shield, and that effect token for Shield will show up in a minute. I made him look for it. Haha. So Max is taking a dodge, and Xeno is going to go ahead and cast Fly. There's that shield token. And no attacks, but looks like some charges are going to be resolved. Just to get a little movement. Jeremy will have his Aarakocra move forward a little bit. And Jay's Balagos will choose not to charge, so we'll move on into round 2. Starting with the Ballista. Jeremy's Ballista this time, going first. Just going to go straight forward. Clear the exhaustion and take in Concentrate token. We've got one token on the Orb of Devastation in the middle, and we have forgotten to flip over the round marker at the bottom of the mat. I'm just going to end up taking that off in round 3. And sometimes I'm not sure that it really adds that much. Jay's Ballista moved 2 forward, did an exhaustion token. Got Jeremy's Balagos, and is he going to do Balagos first or the Aarakocra? He's going to do the Aarakocra. Still a very slow moving game here. No one's that eager to get in close range. Of course, Jeremy actually has range 4 attacks on all his creatures except Balagos. So there's no real reason for him to
move forward too quickly. Looks like the Aarakocra's action is placing the summoning the air elemental. That will is a little attacker that'll get 2 attacks per round, do penetrating damage. The air elemental is placed legally this time. You may remember last game. He placed it a little too far out and didn't get it off. Aarakocra can't attack, of course, the turn they summon the elemental. And Balagos is going to Dimension Door. Teleporting to right over here, behind the other Balagos and behind the Jay's Ballista. And of course he will be exhausted and have a can't attack token. Do that in a minute. Meanwhile, Jay's... There we go. Token Police. Alright, Jay's Balagos. Coming forward here. Doing a bank right. And he's gonna measure for... Gonna place a target token. He'll measure for that to the Aarakocra. He's within range 4 of 2 of them. Within range 3 of only 1 Aarakocra. Just measuring for that target token gives them the opportunity to see if his breath weapon will be useful this round. Breathing on 1 Aarakocra and an air elemental probably isn't that appealing. Next we'll skip to Jeremy moving his elves. We cut a little fiddling with they did a 1 bank right and sort of bumped this ballista, and there was some fiddling to figure out exactly how they'd end up positioned. So the elves' action was to re-enable shield, and we're going to skip a bit to Jay's done his maneuver for Lord Max, banking to the left there, and he's going to feint, trying to stay out of range of a ballista shot or an Aarakocra javelin there. It's going to exhaust him. And then we've got Mind Flayer, Xeno, coming up here, rejoining his fly token. As you might guess, Jay had actually moved Xeno out of order, and we had to put him back to do the turn correctly. But in any case, Xeno's action will be to dodge. He's still too far out to attack. This is actually a pretty cautious turn too, and everyone is still at pretty long range from each other. Elves are going to be the first ones to go. They're not going to have range to Xeno. Then we've got looks like Jeremy's Aarakocra. No, actually, Jay has the initiative this turn, so his Balagos will bite the air elemental. Jeremy took the initiative on turn 1 because he wanted to get to see Jay's setup. There's a bite. Looks like hit, eyeball. Yeah, and we're going to target that. Hit, crit. And 3 dodges for the air elemental. That's a wily little creature. It's going to take the crit, but it's immune to critical effects, so it just gets a damage card. It's not really any better place to put it than out there on the table, I guess. It's kind of a weird situation. Incidentally, if you're wondering why my voice sounds different, I have kind of a cold, summer cold, I guess. Here's an air elemental attack on, I think he went for the dragon. No, he went for the ballista. Did a crit to the ballista. Let's see, crushed. So we're going to roll for that. Yeah, 1 more hit. That's a tough break. Air elemental is going to get one more attack. He's going to attack Balagos. And let's see, we've got, wow, hit, hit, hit. That is some rough stuff, considering that this is penetrating damage. So we're moving to ballistas. Ballista's gonna see if it can pick off a bird. Pretty close, but he's got it right at the edge of range 4, and we've got bunches of hits. I think that's 2 hits, 2 crits. There's no way the bird can dodge that. It's 1 less bird. That was the point soldier. So the Aarakocra are going to have to make a morale check. And no crits on the morale check, so they're safe. This is a check to see if Orokwa gets killed, but he doesn't. So Aarakocra lost one bird, and they're okay. So that was that, and we're going to have Jeremy's Ballista is going to measure for an attack on the Mind Flayer real quick, but no, not quite there. Not quite there. So that'll be the end of the round. We're on to round 3. Gonna move the Ballista. I think he's just gonna bump against the dragon. And probably take a target token, I think. Yeah, I believe that's a target token. No, what he's actually doing is a rapid reload, and the token is right there. You can see just a bit of it before it creeps behind the dragon wing bashfully. And has now become a horror movie. A presence is lurking at the lower left corner of your screen. I was really concerned about something, apparently. Anyway, so Jeremy's Ballista looks like measured for a target token. Incidentally, the reason I have a cold is because we had this rainstorm come through and drop the temperature like 20 degrees overnight, which is nice, but whenever that happens, I catch cold or get sick. Something. It's more of like a throat crud. Anyway, Balagos. Back on track. Balagos doing a 3 bank. Was that a 2 or a 3? Like a 3, I think. Swooping, and he's clearly out to chew up some Aarakocra, or breathe fire on them, more likely, if possible. Target token. Other Balagos. I adjusted that 2 in the middle there. It was bugging me. Alright, there goes other Balagos. Looks like he's planning to come up on Xeno from the back. Never a great situation to be in for a Mind Flayer or anyone else. We'll see the action in just a second here, and there it is. He decided to dodge. He's worried about Lord Max there coming in on his flank and maybe doing a lot of damage. Aarakocra are gonna zoom right past Balagos there. And there's their final position, and that looked like a target token, I believe. Amazing how these tokens just seem to be drawn by some magnetic force to. There, I threw away the turn counter that we weren't using anyway. I was just commenting about how the tokens always seem to find their way behind one of these dragons. Not even behind his wing, behind his head this time. Elves creeping forward a little. again, range 4. They don't really need to. Don't really need to rush in the fight. They're controlling a pretty wide area with their bow. That's a target token. And it's clearly a target in range. Or, well, there is clearly a target in range. They measured the Balagos. And Lord Max coming after other Balagos, as we could have foreseen. And he's going to faint, just to stay out of Balagos' attack arc. And it's a question of attacking efficiency or avoiding a counterattack, and he's going to go with avoiding counterattack. Jeremy has prepped his evil sorcerer and mirror image cards on the table because he's forgotten it. He's forgotten it 3 turns in a row, and he's about to take an attack, and he was getting pretty frustrated with himself. You really need to make a habit of mirror image to remember it, like I do. Anyway. Looks like that feint is executed there, and so we'll go on to Zeno. When did I say Zeno? Maybe Zeno is the British pronunciation. I don't know. So three straight. So he's looking like he's gonna catch a lot of arrows there. So for his action, he decided to go with Dominator and target the Ballista, and get that Ballista to move out of his out of arc. So he was not gonna take one less attack. It would have been. It seemed like Jay thought about it for a long time. It seemed like it was tempting to try to get the elves to come a little closer, so that they would be in range of Xeno's tentacles, and Xeno could maybe tentacle attack the elf, prevent it from attacking back. But the way the elf was positioned, it was extremely unlikely he would clear the Ballista's base, and then that would just be a waste of Dominator. So, given the circumstances, I think this was best. And the attack die Jeremy rolled in there was to see, rolled in that sequence is to see if the Ballista took damage from contacting a ground obstacle, which it did not. So we're ready to move on. Xeno has no attack, unfortunately. Not built for range. I'm measuring something there, but we're actually going to go ahead and do Lord Max's attack on Balagos is what's gonna be happening. So here's the dice. Nothing. That is it is a bummer, but that's something you're vulnerable to when you attack without, a concentrate or target token. Jeremy just did the dodge dance there. To represent Balagos spending his dodge token spitefully, even though he didn't have to. Balagos isn't going to take any more attacks anymore. So. We're doing Jeremy's Balagos attacking. I'm sorry, we're doing the elves attacking. So I'm a little out of it because of this cold. Elves attacking Xeno with their elven accuracy, making it penetrating damage, and Xeno, I believe, is going to end up taking all 4 of those hits. Yeah, all 4 of those hits. Pretty devastating. It's really just kind of a bad situation for Xeno, especially given that he was built melee only. He probably shouldn't have been heading towards two creatures that could outrange him with pretty hard hitting attacks. And what are you gonna do? Believe we're resolving. This is another air elemental attack again. This will be the second turn air elementals on the board. It's hitting. It's 2 damage. I believe he's killing the Jay's ballista with the air elemental with that 2 damage. And then now he's going to attack Balagos. Looked like nothing on those 2 eyeballs. Now the Aarakocra themselves. Trying to hit Lord Max. They've got range, so they should be getting an extra die for their special ability. They performed a 4 maneuver this turn, gives them an extra attack die. And looks like we're on hit crit. I believe they're attacking Lord Max. Yeah. I'm adjusting the orb token for the hit on Xeno, and then we got they were supposed to actually get an extra die for being within 1 of the orb token, so that was that extra die. Anyway, hit crit on Lord Max. That's pretty gruesome. Lord Max 2 dodges, or a dodge turned an eyeball into a dodge with incorporeal. So taking 1 crit, and it is subdued. Can't do the actions on his action bar. That's interesting. It doesn't stop Lord Max from doing the action from his special ability text, so arguably it's a little less restrictive on him than it would be on other creatures. It's still fairly bad, though. Moving on, Jay's Balagos is going to tail whip one of these Aarakocra. I think it's like 3 hits and a crit, or 3 hits, 2 hits and a crit. He's going to use his target anyway. Plenty of hits. He's going to take out that Aarakocra. Go for the point soldier if you can, obviously. They'll make a morale check. They're still okay. And he'll move the point soldier over there. And we should have made another check to see if Iroquois died, but I don't think we did that. Somewhere there. Jeremy's Balagos isn't going to attack. He could fire breath, but he would hit his own birds, potentially. So Jay is going to have his ballista do his rapid reload attacks on the birds. 2 hits on this first one. Blanks. It's going to kill another bird. And then another 3 hits, I think. Kill another bird. It's a pretty devastating turn for these Aarakocra. And that's going to pop that the orb token up to 6. It's been a very violent round 3, especially for these Aarakocra. And we're gonna time to start looking at the orb rules, I guess. Here's the roll for Iroquois. He's still alive, but not for long. We rolled for the orb in the cut, and it exploded. It's gonna kill the ballista, finish off these Aarakocra. It's gonna kill Xeno. It's gonna kill some elves. A lot of exciting death happening right now. Balagos is going to be okay, mostly because of his distance from the thing and his fire resistance. I can't remember if Jay's Balagos has taken 1 hit off that or not. Those elves were within the blast radius of the orb, so he picked those 3 back elves out, so he doesn't have to take a morale check. Would still have to check for Limnan, though. I don't know if we rolled for that or not. Again, it was in the cut, but we're on to round 4, and we've got Balagos moving into swoop, attack these elves. Oh, there's his mirror image. And other Balagos is coming forward to track first Balagos. And I'm not sure why your Balagos is other Balagos, Jeremy. It just worked out that way. And he is going to go ahead and mirror image and target. Well, he's the sorcerer. The evil sorcerer is mirror imaging, so that puts 3 time tokens on the evil sorcerer, and then Balagos can still do his action. So that is a pretty good combo, as I mentioned in the last game. The elf is moving and fainting to stay out of Balagos's attack arc. He'll still have Balagos in his arc, so pretty good setup to take out this dragon. It's looking pretty bad for him. And Lord Max over here. Coming around. Now, technically, this is the point where he could, if he chose, still do the action that's printed on his special ability text on his card, because Subdued doesn't stop you from doing that. And I think we had a discussion about that and maybe misinterpreted that. I can't remember, but in any case, Jay is going to end up rolling for the Subdued crit, and that's believing. Yeah, he got it. All right, there you go. So with no attack from the elves, we'll lose. With no attack from Lord Max, we'll move on to the elves. Looks like they're getting. I think I see 2 hits. They're converting an eyeball to a hit. I think we're seeing 3 hits there. Balagos will get 1 defense die. There might be a 4th hit hiding up there. No, no, it's just the 3 hits. And Balagos defended 1, blocked the others with armor, so he's getting away with that. The elves still have Elven accuracy disabled, so they would not be able to do that on this turn. Other Balagos is going to go ahead and Fire Breath, I believe. Oh, yeah, this was... Okay. He's actually biting, and that was on the razor edge of range 2, so it's pretty close. Is he biting, or is he... That doesn't make any sense. Well, in any case, I can't remember exactly how that shook out. But Balagos is dead. And we're moving into round 5. Now, there is no need to call this Balagos other Balagos. He is just Balagos. He's going to turn around, get ready for the attack on Lord Max. It looks like that was a bite that killed dead Balagos. Jay's Balagos is now dead Balagos. Anyway, I was just looking at Jeremy's time tokens to make sure that wasn't a Fire Breath. It wouldn't have made sense for all the fuss if it was Fire Breath. Elves coming in here also getting set up to attack. It's a pretty nice maneuver. Like as always with these elves, you've got a long range, so you're just wanting to control a big field of fire, and Lord Max is gonna be moving forward because he has to close with someone to hit him. So elves went ahead and did shield. Lord Max does not have any range attacks, so that's not really doing anything. Lord Max will dodge. Pardon me. And the elves will take their shot at him. Looks like we've got 2 hits. And Lord Max dodges easily. He had a dodge token, so he would have been fine, but Jay was wanting to save the dodge token just in case the dragon decided to Fire Breath, but he was not going to be in range to Fire Breath, I don't think. Anyway, round 6. Balagos just pushing forward to bump the elves or to stay in position to get an attack off. Stay swooping. Take a target token. And the elves are going to come around. Good time for it. Overall, pretty good maneuvering by Jeremy in sort of setting this this trap for Lord Max, trying to keep him stuck in an area where he has to keep taking attacks. That's what you want to try to do to him if you can. If you've got two attackers who are capable of range, Lord Max is going to try to feint, but this feint is going to fail. So Max's action is going to fail, and he's going to be stuck there. Pretty terrible place for him. He'll go ahead and preemptively dodge. No, he's going to attack Balagos here. And there's the roll. Looks like we've got 2 hits, maybe? Or is that just a hit and 2 eyeballs? Yeah, 2 hits. 2 hit and a hit and a crit. Excuse me. In any case, Jeremy blew off the damage with mirror image. Should have pulled the token, but it's not gonna matter. Elves are attacking Lord Max. I just wanted to make sure that angle was actually there. It's pretty close, but they've got it. Looks like they've got. He's gonna dodge their attack. Now he had a crit. It's crippled. All hard turns are red maneuvers. And finally, we're going to go ahead and have, he's going to have Balagos Flame Breath Lord Max. If Lord Max had gone to ground level, well, he wouldn't have been able to get an attack off, but Balagos wouldn't have been able to Flame Breath him without also hitting the elves. Not quite enough dodging power to get rid of that attack. There's still going to be 2 hits and a crit that stick to Lord Max, and that's going to kill him. And that is the game.